Let's talk about ableism. I've already made a few videos about ableism, but I started crying in all of them, so I decided to try again. The reason why I'm very sensitive about ableism is for obvious reasons. I am incredibly upset by the fact that ableism still exists, and by the fact that many people blame victims of disabilities. I was just arguing with myself whether the word victims is appropriate, and I think it is, because you don't choose to be disabled, and if you have a condition which you cannot control, then you are a victim. So I think it is appropriate to call people with disabilities victims of disabilities. I also see a lot of ableism that is directed towards people with other differences, including chronic illnesses and people with mental disorders, people who are neurodivergent. So that is incredibly upsetting because, just as I already mentioned, if you have any of these, the above mentioned conditions, you cannot will them away. Let me say that for the people in the back. You cannot work through these conditions. You cannot overcome them. You cannot grow a limb if you happen to lose one. You cannot stop being autistic. You cannot stop having depression. You just can't. If you could, then those wouldn't be disabilities. Those would be just temporary problems or issues. So this whole thing about people discriminating against those who are disabled in one way or another stems from Protestantism and other monotheistic religions that largely contributed to the capitalist exploitative state and its philosophy. So the philosophy of capitalism is pull yourself up by the bootstraps, fix your life yourself, you can do it, etc. And religions really make it worse by having this philosophy where you are born sinful, therefore you are responsible for whatever bad happens to you because you are a sinner by default. So you probably did something else that was against whose will, and that is why you are suffering now. And if you don't subscribe to such beliefs, you may still experience, you probably most likely will experience, discrimination based on these religious beliefs. Now, if we have freedom to choose our religion, or if we have freedom to worship, then why don't we have freedom from religious bias? Because it's so deeply ingrained in many people's minds. It is a part of their identities. It is a part of the foundation of their life. That is why ableism will keep on thriving together with the capitalist mode of production and together with monotheistic religions. So if you want to stop ableism, you have to stop these two aforementioned ideologies, which they are ideologies to an extent. Capitalism is not really an ideology, but you get me. I assert that ableism can only be fought meaningfully if we strive towards building communism. Otherwise, we will keep on putting band-aids on bleeding wounds and pretend that we are helping those who need more help, but continue on to discriminate against them.